We're gonna need that truck.
Back off.
We're not gonna hurt you.
Back off.
We're not gonna hurt you.
Back off.
We want the truck.
Back
We
off.
just want the truck. Just walk away.
Back off.
Welcome to First Person Defender, where regular people come face to face with unknown attackers.
Drop the gun, sir! Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop the gun! Come after me! Drop the gun!
And fight their way out. This is First Person Defender.
Charles gets surprised when he's followed on his way home. He's forced to fight from inside his vehicle. Find out what happens right now on First Person Defender.
These force-on-force scenarios use training guns that fire non-lethal projectiles.
I'm Charles. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm retired from teaching. Taught high school for 25 years, and then I retired from the United States Army. And I've never done force-on-force. Even though in the military they show you how to use a pistol, and we'd shoot them on the range and qualify with them. But until I actually had a friend finally say, hey, come to one of these IDPA matches with me. It's a local match. Okay, I can do that. Got there and I realized, okay, I don't know anything.
Right off the bat, I like Charles. Of course, Charles has been hanging around Range Ready for a while. He's taken a couple classes with me, so his shooting skills have improved. He's been a teacher, so he's been controlling people and providing discipline and verbal commands. He knows the kind of things I think reference to mindset.
I carry all the time because you never know when you're going to need it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
But we've got a special scenario for Charles today. I don't know how he's going to react. We've got a special trainer we're going to bring in. Brian Hill from HK is here to join us. Brian, I'm so glad you're here to join us for First Person Defender. What kind of scenario do we have set up for Charles?
So it's an interesting scenario. It's road rage, and he's been followed home into his garage, which creates a big problem for him because he's going to be in the house, the garage, and the car at the same time with the outside access to the attacker.
How do you think Charles is going to react to this?
I think this is difficult. If he doesn't see it soon enough, he's going to get behind this pretty quickly. And there's a lot of interesting problems between drawing inside of a car and whether he exits the vehicle and how he interacts with the attackers.
How does a road rage incident end up in your garage?
You piss somebody off on the road and they follow you home and you don't see them in time until you park.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think this is going to be very interesting.
Charles is driving home after a long day at the office. He doesn't notice he's been followed. Will he be able to react in time to a fast-developing situation?
Get the out of the truck!
Out of here. 911. Just had an attack on myself. Guy with a bat. He's driving a black sedan.
Index.
Tell me what happened.
Well, a vehicle pulled behind me, and so I was getting out of the truck, and then all of a sudden someone appears. I didn't even see him until he turned, and he was coming through the garage door here. He just started hollering at me about the truck, and I really couldn't tell you what he said. He just came at me. I just reacted. I really not assumed that I shot him with at least one shot.
I don't know exactly what happened because I couldn't see it all. I know what I heard, but I'm going to bring in Brian Hill, and I'm going to have him ask you some questions and talk to you about what he saw from his angle.
Charles, what was the first thing that drew your attention? Was it the noise or what you saw?
I heard an angry voice, and then I saw an individual appear around this side of the truck.
Did you see him or did you see the mirror?
No, I was getting out of the truck, and I saw him right then at the tailgate.
Do you remember your draw stroke?
No, sir.
All right. Is it the first time you've ever done that in a car?
Yes.
So it was very different for you, wasn't
Yes,
it? Do you think there's anything that you would have done differently with your draw stroke?
I have no idea because I don't really remember drawing.
Our bad guy says that you hit him. Do you remember seeing or feeling or anything with that?
No, I was kind of focused on what appeared to be a striking instrument in his hand, and I wasn't quite sure how to even react to that.
How come you only shot once?
Well, I shot, and then he immediately turned away and kept aggressing. I would have kept firing.
So we tell all the people to shoot until the threat stops, right?
Right.
In your mind,
As he was exiting, I figured he wasn't a threat anymore.
threat stopped. So good there. Good job.
The HK VP9 SK. HK quality, but in a smaller package. This is the compact version. A little bit more friendly for concealed carry. You have shorter barrel, you have a shorter grip, and you have different grip sizes that you can put in here, different back straps to fit your hand, but also different magazine lengths. 10, 13, 15 rounds, depending on what you need, but plenty of 9mm ammo to get the job done and protect yourself and your family. The HK VP9 SK.
So Charles, you did a good job with this. This is a difficult scenario. I know you felt a lot of pressure with it, right? There's a lot of things in here that people don't think about that we don't cover in our training because we spend a lot of time in cars. One of the big things that everybody should do when they get in a car is set their mirrors appropriately so you can see all the way around the car, because that gives you your first indication of danger. If we get trapped in the car, one of the big problems, especially with a strong side holster, is getting the seatbelt off. Now, you were fortunate that you'd already had the seatbelt off, but it really could have interfered with your draw stroke. And the other thing we have to be really careful of is the steering wheel. This is very tight and confined. What you did really well was you had the seatbelt off and you pivoted your hips. When you push your hips out here, this allows you to do this. What we got to be incredibly careful of is we're covering our body as we draw from this position. And then what you did is you stopped at the retention position instead of sticking the gun out. What I would suggest for everybody is we get some practice actually drawing in this position so that we learn to get the hand here, and as we cover it, we make sure that our finger stays off the trigger until we get onto the target, and then both hands come into it in a retention position. As we pivot the body, we could also use the legs to block the opponent out of the car, and we could shift ourselves back further so we can have an easier shot with it. All right, so now's your chance to practice in the truck. All right, so let's practice taking the seatbelt off, and we're going to take the left arm and swim it through the inside of the actual harness itself. Show me how that works. All right, so now you're clear of the seatbelt. All right, and he was about right here when the whole thing started, wasn't it? It was really close. So you want to get a little distance, so pivot your body and push your hip out. All right, now clear your cover garment. Good. Draw and drive the gun, turn it towards me. There you go. We're using the UTM round, so that's good. And that's keeping it in there. Now, if you had extended the gun, you would have seen your sights a little bit better, right? But what would be the problem? Extend the gun for me now. See, then it becomes a gun grab position. So it becomes our gun instead of your gun. So you did a really good job with this. Go ahead and start your process. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, good job. Nice swim, pivot. You see him coming around, and off you go. All right. Now, did you see it hit him?
No, sir.
All right. Did it hit you? Yep. It was a pretty good shot. Because your body's turned towards him, what I would suggest is pivoting just a bit more. See how that gives you a bit of distance and you're able to lean away? But be careful of wanting to push the gun out. So now show me how you're going to exit the car. All right, and he was taken off at this point, okay? And you showed a lot of restraint not to follow up with it. Show me how you're going to close the door, okay? Move around the door. There you go. Use your body. Good. Give yourself a bit of distance from it. Because your true advantage is you have a projectile weapon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he has an impact weapon, so it gives you a bit of distance. So we've done a little bit of training with that. Do you feel comfortable with it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it's good to understand these things before the situation happens, right? You did a good job. What I want to make sure that you do is you visualize what you're about to do. We're going to run the scenario again, and it may be the same, maybe a little different. But think about this, the points that you can do just a bit better, how to release the seatbelt, get clear of it, how to retain the gun, and how to close the door and move to the front of the vehicle. You feel good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
A direct descendant of the world-famous HK416, the MR556A1 is the consumer version. It uses the same proprietary short-stroke gas piston system instead of the traditional DI gas impingement system. Means it runs cooler, cleaner, and more reliable. It's the reason so many military and law enforcement trust HK rifles. Check out the MR556A1 from HK.
In first-person defender, you don't always get a full body shot. Well, sometimes we have to take what we get. You don't want to break cover just so that you can shoot center mass or high center chest. Sometimes it may just be a headshot that we can get. It may be a shoulder, it may be hands, or a portion of a body. Well, I'm at 30 feet from this plate rack, which is a long shot for first-person defender, but that's my minimum safe distance for steel. This is how I practice something like this. Remember, I'm in the process of giving verbal commands, quite possibly. So can I talk and make these shots? I have my gun up on the threat and I'm saying, stop what you're doing, don't come any closer to me, whatever you're doing, you better stop. So I'm pointing at the target, I'm not pointing the gun out here, I'm looking through the gun. I've got both eyes wide open. I can see the entire plate rack. If it was a person, I could see from their head to their waist easily. So while I'm giving those verbal commands or while I'm talking to you, I could be pressing that trigger and I don't need to stop talking to make that shot. If the shot presents itself while I'm giving those verbal commands or while I'm talking to you, I'm gonna make that shot. I like a plate rack just for this. Two eyes wide open, I can see absolutely everything that's going on around me, and I never have to stop talking. I'm out here, I'm giving verbal commands. Please don't come any closer. I wish you would please drop that knife. Don't point that gun in my direction. Next time you're out at the range, think about, can I talk to myself while I shoot? Can I shoot with two eyes wide open? Because honestly, if you have eye dominance issues, you may have to squint an eye. But if you're gonna give a target verbal commands, be up, be on the sights with target beyond, and be ready to shoot.
First Person Defender brought to you by HK. Once again, Charles is returning home from the office. What will he do when confronted by multiple attackers looking to steal his truck?
Hey man, we're gonna need that truck. We're gonna need that truck.
Back off.
We're not
Back
gonna
off.
hurt you.
Back off.
We're not gonna hurt you.
Back off.
We want the truck.
Back
We
off.
just want the
Back
truck.
off.
Just walk away.
Back off.
You don't need to get hurt. Oh, they're shooting.
Get out. Get out. Come on.
There's been a shooting. I've been shot. We need an ambulance.
Index,
Black
index,
Ford.
index.
What happened?
Multiple attackers. Guy with a bat comes this way, saying he's a truck. So I tell him to get back. I noticed another one. He was already to the mirror when I noticed him. And I saw he had a gun up. He started firing. I returned fire. I should have stayed behind cover because I came around to engage him. I would have been much better standing behind the front of the vehicle.
So you took a round, huh?
3 rounds.
3, where'd you get hit?
Right here, and then right here.
I'm gonna venture to say that you got aggressive pretty fast when maybe you could have paused, but I'm gonna let Brian Hill come in and talk to you.
Charles, that was a tough one, wasn't it?
It was.
You know, it was very interesting. We see this a lot, is you continue to creep forward into the guy with the gun.
Yes.
You know, we saw that a little bit in the first scenario. We wanted to walk forward, and here it really bit you because you came out from behind cover. And it's interesting, I know you shoot competition, you use cover frequently in that, and you went right against it around the corner and right into him.
I should have shot through the windshield.
It is a projectile weapon, so it covers distance. That's the advantage. Do you remember what you said to him?
To him? Or
Yeah,
this one?
This one.
I told him to get back, get back.
Did you feel like you were authoritative with it? It was good commands?
I remember seeing him and telling him to get back and coming around this side. And then as soon as I saw the gunman on this side, I kind of lost vision of him. I didn't know if he was moving back or forward. I didn't see him on my peripheral coming forward.
So Charles, did you learn anything today?
Cover is your friend.
So Brian, we put him in a tough spot that time.
That is a tough spot. It's a lot to handle. You can see the real problem in cognitive snacking when you have to draw a firearm, move, use cover, apply verbal commands, and make life or death decisions very quickly with limited information. So that's a tough scenario.
I can't remember who shot first in that scenario, but I have to think that my mouth would be doing a lot of the work.
I think that's an under-practiced part of this. We don't practice verbal skills with a weapon in our hand, and then the actual programming of these skills. So we know what we're going to say, and that's tough. That's something that needs to be practiced more.
You know, it's easy for us to say.
Yeah.
It's not so easy for people to learn.
Yeah.
But time on task.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Hey, thanks for watching First Person Defender. Did you know there are more ways to follow what Gun Talk's doing? Like guntalk.com, gundealio.com, the Gun Talk podcasts, and the Gun Talk email newsletter. Follow us, interact with us. Thanks for watching.